Hey, what's up? It's EA. I'm representing Daily Deposit Crew, and I'm here with the Floaters.
Wait, oh my god, is this the floaters?
I mean, there's some pressure to it, but at the same time, um, a lot of it comes from hard work. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it hard work, a lot of days in the gym, endless nights and early mornings and stuff like that. That goes with it, but at the same time, there are some things that you get taken away, and those that's part of the sacrifices that goes into it. I wouldn't change it for the world, honestly, because it made me who I am today. Now, there's definitely parts of it that I wish I could have made a party or two, or I feel like I missed out a little bit here and there. But it's all worth it. Those are my decisions. I live with it, and I love where I'm at today. Yeah, I mean, naturally, I think all athletes, kind of in our space, kind of live a life of, trying to how would I say, walk the right and straight path, right? Something like that, right? And it does get tough sometimes, right? Because at the same time, we're out at the same parties as the rest of our friends. We're out doing the same type of things, but at the same time, we can't post it. We can't really show the life we're living. We can't show that we're maybe drinking a little bit, this, that, and the third. But, at the same time, we kind of always have to be cognizant, which kind of keeps us on our toes. But at the same time, that's good, right? Because we are a business. Each one of us, at that stage, if you're playing college ball, especially Division I, if you're a pro, you are a business in yourself. And what I mean by that is just like, if a business doesn't want to see that on their page, then that means you can't post it. And that's kind of is what it is. That's what you put yourself into. But there's, like I said, you got to make those sacrifices. And now that you kind of enter into entrepreneurship, that's kind of the avenue that I've gone into. You can kind of be yourself a little bit more. You want to be yourself, because that's what people want to see. That's what sells, and just being authentic. I actually just changed my Instagram name from Coach E. Atkins back to my old handle, which is E. Atkins 0. That's who I was. That's who I am. And it's like, I'm gonna be that because that's who I am, and I'm gonna see where that takes me. Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. Mainly because at the time, honestly, I had no clue what I wanted to do. I was such a basketball junkie. If you asked me what I wanted to do, anything other than basketball, I really didn't have an answer. So it's actually everything that I've kind of got into, especially in the past few, I would say, years or so, months. It's really just been passions that have grown just authentically, and different things that I've maybe didn't know I liked, but it's just grown from it. Like from clothing to being a trainer. I mean, I think daily for me, it just represents the grind of what it takes to do whatever you want to do in life. Nothing comes easy. So the grind is literally what I mean. It is daily. Every single day. I normally every Sunday I plan on my week, and what it's gonna look like, Monday through Saturday, and I sit there and I write it all out. So I know exactly daily what it looks like and what that grind is gonna feel like, what it's gonna be like, and I think that's something that I think, again, like I said, in all aspects of life, I think that's something that can cross over to everybody. You know what I mean? And for me, it's just a daily grind, or whatever I'm going after. You know what I mean? That daily grind could be, with my son, with my daughter. We going to the park. We going to whatever it is. If I'm taking my wife out to dinner, it's constant, because you want to just, and I'm gonna get into the next word, deposit into, those people that you love, the things that you love, the craft that you love, and that's what I want to do. At the end of the day, is really just pour into the people, the things, and the activities that I love to do on a daily basis. So, and I know that's why the deposit word is so important to me, because we all invest. You know what I mean? I think over the past 3-4 years, investing has become a big word, big key word. I think people have been talking about investing into crypto, from investing into, which I do love. Everybody is more self-aware about investing in general and what that means to our community. But I think at the end of the day, the main investments that we make, and the best investments that we make, are into our people. That we give into each other, that we give into our relationships, that we give into our community, and that's what daily deposit means to me. The crew, you know what I mean? And like I said, I mean, the crew part is all about, the people you got around you. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I think the people that you have around you is what make this thing special. It makes your life special. It makes why you do what you do every single day special. You know what I mean? So everything I do, is for my loved ones. It's for my crew. My crew. I got a couple different crews. I got my mom. I got my brother. I got my cousin Terry. I got my nephew. You know what I'm saying? I got that crew. I got my immediate now family, my wife, my son, my daughter. You know what I mean? A few different crews that I can pour into, and that's what it's really all about for me. So at the end of the day, it's just making those daily investments, those daily deposits into your crew. Yeah, man, it's been interesting. Being an entrepreneur is an interesting venture to go into for yourself, because you learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about your own grind and what that's like every single day. So when I started back in late March. I picked up. I started my EA training. I started my EA basketball training with no gym, which was the funniest thing in the world. I posted on Instagram, "Hey, I'm out here. Hey, mess with me. I'm available." A bunch of people hit me up. Then I realized I ain't got no gym. I ain't have no gym to train at. So I had to actually wait a second, kind of get back to the drawing board. I mean, that's what, again, entrepreneurs really do. You really have to have a plan in place. That's why I wasn't really ready to be an entrepreneur from the jump. But, I took a couple weeks, figured that part out, got my LLC, got all these things in place that I can be legit and really go into this basketball training business. And then when I started it, I loved it. Basketball training is something I love to do in general. And then on top of it, it just really caught on, the daily deposit. Daily deposits was actually what it first started as. I remember even putting down on one of my Instagram posts, daily deposits every day will take you somewhere that you've never been before. And I posted that one day, and I said, I'm gonna post it the next day, daily deposit again, and then the daily deposit crew, because I had like 3-4 kids on a consistent basis. I said, man, this is my daily deposit crew. And it just started to really pick up. And the day that I realized that this was something was, I was in a barbershop. Shout out to Chad the barber, because he brought it up to me. He was like, man, I see you working, like, what's your daily deposits? And it was the first time somebody said my own line back to me. And I realized then, I said, hey, you know what? This is something that I really need to really invest in and really go after. So shortly after that, that's when I, really went in on the clothing brand part of it. And again, it's a whole different side of entrepreneurship, right? Like, the clothing side of it. And that's been an interesting journey, to say the least. So I'm still in it, I'm still going. I'm loving every part of it so far. Man, I mean, right now, I am putting out content, right? The different stuff that I'm doing on a daily basis of selling shirts, and really showing the people about what it takes to, own a clothing company. One, and two, shout out to, my best friend Damian Lee. he's really going to and is investing into the company, and being really want to wear it on a big time basis. So, that getting it out to more players from the NBA, overseas guys, to people in the community, really just trying to get it out there as much as possible, because at the end of the day, this is a clothing brand that everybody can relate to, from athletes to dentists to barbers to anybody that goes in and really invests in their craft each and every day. It's something that people can relate to. Yeah, I think that mentality for me, of just bringing it on both sides of the ball, always came from, or it picked up from, going to Baltimore, playing at Bentlow, playing with the Baltimore Stars, going to DC, playing with DC Assault. I always had a chip on my shoulder, just because being from where we from Columbia, Maryland, where people, honestly they want to disrespect us because they think we soft, and I carried that chip every single day, and it was always something that I always wanted to prove people wrong, that I could be as tough as they come. I could pick you up, I can guard you. You're not gonna speed me up. You're not gonna do exactly what I'm trying to do to you. So that always was just like a chip that I always had. And I got to play with guys and look up to guys like Nolan Smith, who was in the DC Assault family. Got to play against him all the time. See him. Even my brothers that were on my same team, from Tyler Thornton, Cedric Lindsey, guys that I battle with every single day. They really pushed me to that point. And a bunch of Baltimore guys as well. There's too many to name that really pushed me and made me want to be like them, to be honest. A person like that is like Malcolm Delaney. I looked up to him, had a chance to play him, but at the same time, I was coming at his neck too. You know what I mean? Like it was a war. And those are the guys. Some of the guys I used to look up to. But it just came natural to me, the competitiveness and the chip I always had on my shoulder from being from Columbia. I really like being from Columbia too. It's really a beautiful place. It's a beautiful place. And on top of it, just give me my chip. Everybody talk shit about it. That's the funny thing, it's the same exact thing. People try to test you the same exact way. You know how many times I've been a part of that. Nah, you ain't really about that life. Nah, I'm right here, I'm not moving. I'm not going anywhere. You know what I mean? And yeah, it's the basketball court, but at the same time, it's the same type of mentality that you got to bring, and that anybody from where we're from had to bring if you were going to be successful. Now, there's people that it ain't work out for. You know what I'm saying? But the ones that have made it out, guys from Chase Adams, the guys that I looked up to going to Mount St. Joe, from Chase Adams, JJ Outlaw, I'm going back, Chase, JJ, Justin, Henry Sims, Phil Booth, there's plenty. Yeah, man, and those guys are all from Columbia, so Greg can go to St. Joe though, but Greg Winston is one of them. He's legit. He's one of them. But at the same time, you had to bring it a certain way, or you were not going to be respected. Every single time you stepped in the court, there was somebody from one of those cities that's going to try you, especially if they knew where you were from, and you got to bring it. Started my senior year. It really started my senior year in college, where this was the year that, at the end of when you getting closer to your end in college, you really start to figure out some things, as far as relationships that you have in regular relationships, from relationships with your coaches to you really start to plan out the rest of your life, because it becomes a lot. You can see the next side of your life like that. It's about to be there. So going into my senior year, I started to have more conversations with my head coach about becoming a coach, because I could see hey, I think I can do that. I see what you guys do. I think that this can be a possibility for me. And in this year, man, when October hit, one of my best friends, Jaren, went down. He became academically ineligible. And we were going to have a great senior year. I already planned it. I seen it. I said, man, if we have a great year this year, I think I can maybe get to the league. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you have big dreams. And let me just say, to be clear, I'm not blaming him for me not making the league. But, in college, if you have a huge run, it can change your life, and, if that's overseas, a big time contract from your first year, or whatever that may be. I had big plans going into that senior year. And he, happened to leave late in December, basically. He played one semester. The last game was against Ohio State in the Garden. And he was killing, but I got fouled out and we lost. If I would have played the whole game, we would have won. But, once he transitioned, he didn't transition. He's doing well. He's doing great for himself and his family. But when he went, left the team, and it was just me on the team, and I had another NBA player on my team, like Pat Connaughton out there, doing great for the Milwaukee Bucks. But he wasn't the Pat who he is today. He was still transitioning into becoming that type of player. I had to get a lot of buckets, which was great. It brought out more of a scoring side of me that probably I didn't even bring out probably since high school, right? So, but I could see, hey, I can get in. I want to get into this coaching thing. If this is tough, this year was really tough, and I think I really want to get into this coaching thing. So I really started planning for it even right after my senior year. I went overseas. I was in Greece. I wrote down all the plays from my Greece team. We had a really nice playbook. Shout out to my coach. He was super hard to play for, but he had a lot of great plays, though. The Greek league is a really good league. And I wrote down all the plays. I still got it in my little green book. That's when I felt like that passion for coaching, like really like bubbling. I was like, oh yeah, I think I like this. And then after that year, I went to Hungary, where I had honestly the worst year of my 3 months that I probably ever had, at that time. And from my coach, me and my coach not getting along. Shoot, I was averaging 14 and 8, which I thought was really good, and it is good. But he wanted somebody because he thought it was an American point guard. He should have been averaging 25, and it's just we were just, that's not who I was. And at that point in my career, I was like, I'm a solid point guard. Like, I'm gonna win you games. I'm gonna get assists and everything like that. And we butted heads. They wanted to cut me. And at this point, I'm frustrated, but at the same time, because I already put in motion these college coaching, right? Like where my college coach knows I want to coach, so I'm putting that in his ear again. This is October 15. So I'm putting that in his ear, like, hey, I'm thinking about really getting to the coaching side of it and everything like that. So when I get into the G League, I leave Hungary, I get into the G League. Man, I was in Erie, Pennsylvania. Shout out to Erie. Yeah, that was an interesting experience. I learned a lot about life because of how my G League experience ended, where, man, we ain't win a game for a month in February. It was February. I know this exactly. It was the month of love, and we didn't win the game. But I mean, however many games in the G League goes fast, like the NBA type of game situations, like these games come up quickly. Man, we went 0 and whatever that is, 14, 15, and man, I just remember just being frustrated about that. And I said to myself when that opportunity came up, I was so frustrated with how my last season went that I was okay at the time leaving the game of basketball. I didn't know how much I would miss playing the game of basketball. So, my first year out of the game, I was straight. Now I'm gonna just start this. Oh, shit. What the fuck did that come from? That wasn't there the whole time.
Was it the whole time? I just seen it right.
I'm just seeing it now. I may have like.
You might have said something.
Damn, is it glaring?
Good. No, it's like liquid.
All right. Well.
No, I was gonna say.
All right. I'm gonna pick up where I was at. So my first, when I did leave the game and I went, into the coaching side of it, I didn't know how much I would miss it, playing the game. I was so ready for this next journey in my head that I thought that I would just fall in love with the coaching side of it right away. And I honestly didn't. I miss playing every single day. It was something that I thought about all the time. And I kind of went into a little bit of a depression, honestly, in that year, which not a lot of people know about, but it was interesting because it's hard to tell because at the same time, I'm the one that made the decision. So who do you tell about a decision that you made, right? Like, this is your problem. So I just really kept that all inside about feeling like I made a mistake in this in my own journey, but at the same time, I knew that it would pay off. I knew that I was going in the right direction, but just naturally as a competitor, it was hard to sit on the sideline watching my alma mater play games and not feeling like, damn, I want to help. Now I know that all my eligibility is done and all that, but at the same time, it's like, dang, I could have made that open three. I could have made the right pass. I could have, all those thoughts, emotions are still there. And I carried those for probably 2 years for sure. The first 2 years I was there, I was at Notre Dame as a video coordinator for 3. The first 2 years I thought about that consistently. And I luckily I had some guys that were around me, coaches, and players that would, hoop with me during the night. Like I would like late night one-on-one to working out. Like, so I still hooped, but there's nothing like actually being in front of the crowd. You know what I'm saying? So I did what I could to like balance that out, balance out those feelings. But I kind of came to more sense of it my 3rd year, where I knew I was like, all right, this is what I'm doing, this is what I'm gonna do. And I was good with it by that time. And honestly, I think I pushed down feelings, to be honest. I just like moved those feelings to the side because this past year and that's 3 years later, like I didn't know how much I missed playing until this summer, where from the Brunson to Alumni League to playing in pickup games, and I was like, damn, I really miss actually hooping. And I think I'm still pretty good at this joint. So, man, do I still feel like a big deal? What's funny is, and what's interesting is the fact that to the people that know me, it's like yes and no, to be honest. When I'm in my circle of people, I really just want respect, like about what I've done, what I can do, honestly, and that's what I proved to myself this summer, is I can still do it. And that was a great feeling, to be honest. Like, I could still do this, and I could still get respect from people that even I look up to, the pros and things like that, and I could still do it. That feeling was second to none. Now, from people outside of that, honestly, I just feel good when people bring up what I used to do and who I used to be. It's a good feeling that naturally, like, yo, you the man, this, that, and the third. Like, yo, we used to watch your games. I hear that when I go into the barbershop and different things like that. That feels good. You know what I mean? I feel like I left an impact, and that's actually, more than anything in this world. Like, if you can leave some type of impact, a memory that people remember, it's powerful. So, like, I feel like, I don't feel like I'm the man, but I feel like, at the end of the day that I affected, people in a positive light. And that's beautiful. Yeah, man, ideal date night is like getting the kids out of the house somehow, or just with my grandma, my mom, and their grandma, and then watching a Marvel movie. Me, I'm gonna have some tequila with some lemonade. My wife don't drink, so she gonna have like Welch's sparkling. And I'm gonna make my famous yo, my shit's so fire. I got this salmon. I be cooking. That joint fire. And when I make it, man, it's so fire, bro. I was gonna say something. Wow, but it's so fire, bro. Yeah, I think I want to dive into a little bit of everything from community outreach to even camps, basketball camps, to a little bit of everything with the brand. Because I think, like I said before, it can really reach a whole lot of different avenues. So just getting it out there as much as possible and investing into the community is important.
Wait, oh my God, is this the floaters?